People always say that if you get into top 8 once with like one of the decks that people don't think it's close to playable in this meta, then you're lucky. But how about if you get into it twice and then you lose in the most disgusting way, like a triple crit or an overtrigger? What then? What happens then? Is it still lucky, or you're just good, or is the deck good? Well, it's impossible to start that discussion without going to the context of this video. This video is very important to show you guys how strong this deck is. Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and we are back with another beautiful top 8. 2 top 8s in the same season. Very unlucky to not go further and get at least a medal. But it is what it is, and we'll have to do with what it is. We got 2 tournaments. We played 2 tournaments and we got twice in top 8. We played Greedon, Heroes, and Bruce. Greedon, it's a little bit close to the meta, so we do see it here and there. But Heroes before the support and Bruce, Unraveled Bruce, is just something that people did not expect. And it's not lucky, it's just that the deck is insanely good. And in this video I'll show you a demonstration on how good the deck is and why this deck got so far. So in this deck I did change a few things. There is one card that is different. There is also like one change into the deck that you will see between the first top and the second top, and that's the order. I played in the first one I played Angel Leather, and then the second one I played of course the card that actually is meant to be in this deck. And that's also the reason why I got the chance to change one more card to the deck, and I took out a Bruce to add in a copy of a very, very, very beautiful card, which is this card. If you don't know this card, you see it for the first time. It's they're both the same, and they are very interesting, as in these 3 cards, or 2 because these are the same, do make a big difference while playing this deck. And we will have a separate video that we talk about the importance of these 2. But that will not be this one, because otherwise the video will be too long. So that's the only difference. I took out the Bruce and I added in a card that does help against decking out, and it also just helps to draw in the early game. It's not only the draw in the early game that makes it different, it's also just what do you discard. If you have a good hand, a good first hand in this deck, it's very, very hard to choose a card to discard from your hand. Why is that? This is because the deck is so in balance that it's almost impossible to discard anything without you feel like you're missing that card. Also, one of the things that the deck does deck out. If you go into your 3rd final rush turn, the deck does deck out. So that's one of the things that you have to keep in mind. I will do 2 separate videos. The first one I will do is going first, and the second I will do is going second. That does make a big difference in going first or second, because do you keep the promo, do you keep the Bruce, do you search for this, do you search for that, and the cards that you have in your hand. Alright, so let's say in this video we go first. Let's do we did already the shuffle, we did a cut, and let's put the middle one right here and there, and let's see what the first 5 cards will be. And the thing is, when it comes to this deck, you do really need to play it very, very, very smart, because the support that you get while building the deck is not much to work with. So you'll have to be smart about the way you play it with the cards that you have, and also important how you build your deck. What is this? What is this? Get out. Alright, so this is our first hand. We see the promo, we see a Marjorie, and we see a servant. Going first, we could put this card back. The same goes for this, and the same goes for that. You could keep the Marjorie on hand, but with this hand, you need an order, and you need some cyclers to discard. So this will hurt. I would still rather to put this back and just see if I could draw more PGs or anything else or something that I want to discard and not the Marjorie. The first is a Brian, it's good. Order, perfect. A Bruce, good as well, something to discard. And the last one is another Brian. Alright, so we're set up with 2 Brians, no Marjories because we just put 2 of our attackers back, but at least no PGs, that's also interesting, but at least we have the Bruce. So let's do another cut, a fast shuffle, and then let's start the game. Alright, first you see the starter and you think like, what the hell? We start for turn. We draw the order. We could discard the Bruce right here, or we could discard this. We don't need both. Because we go first, we could discard this, and then we write. We don't draw, of course. This thing will not move, but we will get the energy thingy, as Marta says. This moves down. You soul charge the dragon. It's bad. It's their turn. They attack into you. You have nothing to defend with, so you would take the damage. Then it's your turn again. Mostly, the first attack is just one attack. The second attack will be multiple ones. It's your turn again. You draw for turn. You do another order. Now you have 3. You could discard 1. It's fine. Then you draw right into the Richard. Richard will eat this up, and then you draw. There is no cyclers, no dragons. It's just sad in this situation, but hey, it is what it is. You attack, you drive check, you heal. It's good. Goes to hand. This goes to 3, of course. Then it's their turn. They will attack into you once. You get a trigger. Even if they attack into you twice, you could still discard this. But normally a trigger will shut it down. Against some decks, they would still attack, but mostly it will shut it down. You stand and you draw. You draw a cycler. A little too late, but hey, at least she's here. Discard the cycler to go to the 3/3. This goes back to 3. You draw a card. Right. Now, you have the Bruce for next turn, you have 1 Marjorie, and you have the 2 orders. You're good to go. You attack with this, you drive check. Normally they would just do a 2 to pass, so you do everything Vanguard. Sad. Then it's their turn. Now they attack into you. Now this is their big turn, right? So let's see, they do 1, 2, 2 BGs gone. And let's say you guard the last attack with, or the last 2 attacks with these 2, or even with these 3. You're still good to go. 3 damage is fine. You stand, you draw a dragon. Alright. Now we get the final rush, right? You go. Final rush. This move up to 6 again. And then you will ride into your Bruce. Right here you call the Marjorie. And you activate the order. So count to last 1. You draw a card. And you could call something from your hand. You could call 1 Brian. And just keep the dragon in your hand. Or you could call the dragon. It's pretty much up to you. For the first turn, I would rather do it like this, right? So your front row will get the extra 10k from the order, and the 10k will become a 15k because you will activate the Brian skill to Soul Blast 2. And with that, your Vanguard gets a crit because you're on Final Rush. So this is how it will be. You could call something else to the field if you want to, like the cat, because that will be the card that you will soul charge. So you call the cat right here, and you activate the skill of the cat to put the 2 cards that you just soul blasted with a Brian back to your right deck, and with that, you could counter charge 1. Alright, now we're set to go. Again, you could have called the dragon if you want to give you more soul, and the cat right here will be more shield in hand. That's pretty much up to you to how do you want to play. Normally, I would be calling more dragons than the cat, but it really depends. Let's say I played how I normally play it, because the cat on hand is better to keep for later, and you could always call it. And this will give you just more hand, and you will keep more shield. So you call this, you counter last 1 more, you draw a card, and then you soul charge 2. It doesn't matter what you soul charge, because those cards will be soul blasted anyway. Now, you're set to go. Alright, so the first attack now, it doesn't matter because you don't have a booster. You attack with the least one, which is 28. Then you attack with your Marjorie, putting the dragon into your soul drawing a card, soul charging a card, and giving the Marjorie another 10k. Now your Bruce will attack with a triple drive, right? Now they PG normally because it has a crit. You could have committed one more Brian to the field if you wanted to. If you don't play against something that retires, then you could do that, because the Brian, the only thing that the Brian will do is Soul Blast 2 more to give you an extra crit and then more power to the field, and you still have the 5 soul. So that's good. If you want to commit, that's pretty much up to you. You could have called the Brian, but the thing is I don't want to commit too much because I don't have soul chargers yet. So this will be just the attack. Drive check. First, a Marjorie, soul charger. It's good. The second, over trigger. Dang, that's painful. So, of course, in this case, you could actually just give the power to your Vanguard, the 100 million. You draw a card, and then the last drive check. You can +1. You restand everything by soul blasting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You could also soul blast the grade 3s and keep the 0s on soul. With that, you could have your servant become stronger. This will attack again. If they have a PG, they PG'd. If they don't, they die. The drive check of 1, and then let's say that they PG'd this attack, and that's it. So this will go away. And this will come back next turn. Now, the thing is this is where things become interesting. This is a 15k. This is just the 5k that we needed in the game. This is no shield. This is a 20k. This is a PG. This is a 20k. This is a 15k shield. So you can see right here, these cards are still a lot of shield. And in this case, if your opponent gives you, you will be taking damage, right? Heal, I don't know, depending on how much damage they have. So power to the Vanguard and a crit, that's pretty amazing. So you could discard all of these and you would still survive, right? That's how you discarded this with a PG, right? So you're still good to go. You stand, you draw, this goes to 9. You could still use it to draw a card because you have enough cards on deck. And right here, you will move this back, you will activate an order, count +1. And you'll call the Marjorie. First you draw a card, then you call the Marjorie. Then you call another Brian right here. You can see how much soul you have. You have only 2, so it's impossible to use 2 Brians. And you could also say at the start of the turn, I will still ride into my Bruce. The thing is, why you ride into your Bruce is you want to create the 5 soul, of course. And if you don't do that, then it will be a little bit harder for you to activate the Brian. But again, it depends on the way that you play. Your Vanguard get the 5k, 10k and a crit, of course, as in from your over trigger. You will call the second Brian because you want something to put into your soul and you want to keep this on hand. You soul blast 2 and your front row will get 5k again. You get the 10k from the order, so this will be your front row power, which is insane. This will attack putting one of the Brians into your soul, you draw, and you soul charge. This will attack, you put the Brian into your soul, you draw, and you soul charge. Of course, they will get 10k each. Then this will attack. They're all, in this case, 38, right? You have the triple drive, the first, the second, and the third. The beautiful treasure. I counter blast 1, everything restands, and you soul blast the 5 cards you have in your soul. Now this will attack again. They will have to PG again, and then these will attack, right? So right here you can see you don't really have much cards on hand, but you still have enough shield, right? This is the 15k, this is another 15k, these are 15 and 20k. These are of course just 5ks, and then you have of course your PG. It's still a good defensive hand for that late in the game. And looking at your deck, you still have enough triggers, right? Oh, this would have been a miracle heal, but you still have like enough triggers. We haven't seen that much. And this is pretty much the strength of the deck. You don't really see it until you play against it. Even if you see a match of it playing, you'll be like, But in this case, we have seen only one of our cyclers in the early game, and that's quite fine. You could change the deck around to have it more into your liking, more into your playstyle. That is pretty much up to you. You could do a lot with the deck. The deck is very flexible, but you'll have to find the right balance that works for you. Riding from the one Bruce to the other could actually always give you that extra soul. And that's one of the reasons why still testing to see how cards like these will change or make an impact on the deck. So normally the deck that as I normally want to play it, it does look a little bit different. I just play 2 cyclers. If I draw into them, I draw into them. If not, it's fine. And with that, you will have more shield value that you discard at the start of the game. Doing that, you will take 1 card out of your deck. It's a very beautiful card that I really don't want to take out, but you will take this out. That's the thing that you could change. You could also take it out to put the cycler in. That's also okay, but her going back to the deck is actually quite good. One big problem is the fact that she costs you soul, and you really don't want to pay soul in this deck. But if you have cards back in your deck, then you could still afford to lose soul, because most of your soul chargers are, especially your Mayuris, will soul charge from the drop zone. From the deck, and the others will soul charge from the drop zone. So that's basically a big difference. All right, let's do another game with us going first, and after that, that will be the end of the video. And then we'll do in the next video, we'll do going second, because as I said, it's a big difference on what you keep in hand, what you discard. As you see, we discarded the promo earlier, and normally you would not do that if you go second. All right. Shuffle, we cut, and let's do a game 2, let's say, for an example. This game, we will keep the amount of damage that we do to the opponent as well, so you guys could have a better understanding of how the game works. All right, we're going first again. So because we don't have a Bruce, we will have to keep this. We have a dragon, that's good, and we have 2 orders. We could still keep the 2 orders and gamble on what we draw to discard. So we'll just put this back. Or you could say I will put the order back, and hopefully I will draw it later, and I'll hope to draw a cycler right here, because that's the better discard target. That's pretty much up to you. The first draw is another order. It's good that we put an order back. And the last one is a dragon. So this doesn't really make the hand look better. If you look at it, we still don't have a Brian. We don't have a Bruce, but we have this one that could get us a Bruce. So going second, this would be a better hand, of course. But yeah, let's hope that we just draw into cyclers and draw into the lady. The lady is the one card that you want if you go first, because she just gives you the draw right away. All right, so I'll have the cards facing me. We draw. We drew a different lady. We'll have to discard a dragon right here. We don't have much options. We write, this comes right here. Soul charge. We can't attack because we go first. It's important to keep in mind because you have 6 attackers. Alright, now they attack into you. The first is nothing, and let's say that's it. And then it's your turn again. You draw. You drew a Bruce. It's good because we go first. Now we can discard this. We write, this moves up. This goes to soul. And we draw a heal. Attack, they will guard this attack. Mostly they will guard this attack. So the drive check, crit, keep them at 0 damage. And then it's their turn again, they attack into you. It's a trigger, which normally will put their grade 2 turn to stop. So you could keep these in hand. Stand and draw. Now we discard the dragon to right. The dragon gives us a card. This moves up, of course. And we just attack, we have nothing else. They will do a 2 to pass. The first is a crit. It's always a crit. And hopefully you get a front or something. No, cycler. Cycler good. because we could still draw out of this turn if you want to. Now, it's their turn again. They will attack into you. They will do a first attack. And most of the time they will do you much damage in this turn. So you will get at least one more, which is bad. But let's say that you use the cycler to draw the dragon. And let's say that you use some of these shields as well to stop some of the attacks. You stand, you draw. No, you're too late. You are too late. Right here, you ride into the bruise, and of course, you are on final rush. Here we go. Alright, now we do have E Marjorie, so we call that to the field. We have nothing else that could draw us card except the dragon. So you could call the dragon right here first to have a bigger chance of drawing something that could attack. Let's gamble on that. So count the last one, draw a card, draw another dragon thing, and we'll put 2 cards from the drop zone to the soul. Alright, now we'll just use the order and we'll see what will happen. So count the last one, we draw a card, we draw a cat. You could just call the dragon right here if you want to. So you draw, you call the dragon, and then the skill will go off to give you front row. Excellent. 10k. Sad we don't have a Brian. It's sad we don't have another attacker. Let's activate another dragon. So we draw. Because we have the cat, we could counter charge. And we will put 2 cards to the soul. We have enough soul for days. And that's it, then we'll attack. This will be the first attack, which is not that strong, it's just 23. Then we'll have this attacking, this will go to the soul. We will draw, we will soul charge. And over trigger, no! And then this will attack. This is not the strongest turn, but it's fine. First, second, third. At least we have a heal. Was this a grade 2 or higher? It's a grade 3. Well, we have enough grade 3s. Count plus 1. Soul Blast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this soul. Thank you, dragon. This will attack. Everyone drive check. We need a crit. Something like a crit. And then these will attack, right? Normally you will put your opponent at like what, 3 damage in this turn, and that's basically it. You go back to 3, so you're good to go. Now, next turn you need to finish them off. So these will go away, final rush will go away, and then they attack at you. So it will do you 1 heal. It does go off. It does go off. Power to the Vanguard. 2nd damage. And that's it. You want to stop them right there. It's too much damage. You're taking too much damage. It's not good. So you'll be using your shield values right here. This is a 15. This is another 15. This is another 15. This is 20. This is a 20 if needed. This is another 20 if needed. So you have enough shield. You have your PG in hand, which you could also discard with this. But you could see how much shield you have. That's just insane. You could also take the 1 damage and go to 5, so they have a less chance of healing. Depending on how many heals you have seen from them. But normally this will be more than enough to guard whatever they have, or maybe you play against something that can have down that you need more. Let's say you discarded your PG as well. Sure, fine, why not? Here we go. Now it's our turn again. We stand. We do have a Brian, which is good. We draw, and this will go up to 9. Now you do have different options right here. You could draw more, you will still have deck, but then you will really have to kill them off on this turn. What do you want to draw? There is nothing that you need to draw, because you have a Marjorie, you have a Brian. The only thing you would like to draw is another copy of Brian. But if they're already on 3 damage, then the 1 Brian is enough, right? So let's not use this yet. So right here we will put the dragon back here, and we will use the order. So we'll counter last 1. We will draw a card, draw another Brian. It's good. We will call the Marjorie. Now we'll call 2 Brians, and with that we'll Soul Blast 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 cards on soul. Your front row will get 10k from the Bryans and 10k from the Order. So that's big. And of course your Vanguard will get 2 crits. So that's basically what you will do right here. Then you will attack. This will be the first attack, eating this up to drawing in a card. Let's show you the hand. Drawing a card, putting a card into the soul, getting another 10k. Attack, soul, draw, 10k, and soul. This should give you 6 soul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will attack. It's a big boy. It's 33. So they will need a PG right here, because even if you don't get a crit, it could still kill them. So a crit, power, and crit. You need one more crit and it's just beautiful. A Brian. So +5, counter +1. Restant. Attack again. Drive check. Marjorie. And this should kill them. If not, let's say they still survive, which is quite interesting. But let's say they do, right? Let's say they do, and they still could make a decent next turn, even with like surviving this hell. What do you have in your hand on shield value? You do have a 15k right here. You have a PG, you have another 15k, you have a 20k, and you have a 5k. That's basically it, because again we discarded a lot on the last turn. So looking at the looking at the amount of cards you have in your deck, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will be very, very, very difficult for you to create another restanding turn. So your focus will be on having 3 strong attacks. That's it. You have 1 soul, which means if you want to activate your Brian, you will need to ride into Bruce. So you want to keep this on hand. And you want to keep this on hand, and anything else could die. That's fine. You have a draw for turn. You have 1, 2, 3 for the drive check. You could power up the Marjories if you want to, but you will not be attacking with your another Marjorie. So that's basically it. If you will activate your Marjories and not activate your Brian, then you could still have a restanding turn because you have no draw. So you could gamble on that, right? So, but then you will have to keep the cat on hand to countercharge. So it's very difficult to play that around, right? Because you're missing 1 card on deck. I will show you. It's 1 is the draw. 3 are your drive checks. 2 cards for your first Marjorie and 2 cards for your second Marjorie. That's it. So you will have 1 card left on deck. In that case, if that happens, if you could do that, like if they really have like weak attacks, and then you will garden like 15k PG the Vanguard or something like that, in that case, then you could still do that. In the case that you will have to use your cat, then you want to keep this on hand. Let's say that they destroy your front row and you lost your cat, right? So this is you have activated all of that and you have to take a damage. So right here you stand, you draw. This moves up to 10, which doesn't matter. You ride, and then you call these 2. You're also good to go, but you cannot activate the order anymore because the order will draw you a card. So that's something that you have to keep in mind, right? Because he has 1, 2, 3 drive checks. She will draw you 2, and you still have 1 card because the Marjorie, instead of having the Marjorie, we have this, so we have 2 cards more in deck. So you could do that, but again, you don't have enough CBs. So yeah, you can't have everything. Right here, you will commit. There is no reason not to. So this will be your field, and you will have your 5 souls, so you're good to go. This will be the first attack, or this will be your first attack, pretty much up to you. Then you could soul charge this, you'll draw a card, you'll sword charge a card, and then this will attack. Boosted, activate the skill. You will have your grade 4 somewhere. Do we have another grade 4? I don't think so. I don't think we have seen it. That's the difference. Normally, this is a grade 4. So I still think I will change it back to just having the 3 Bruce grade 4s into the deck. This will go to Soul, give her extra 15k. And she has a 10k. Now your Bruce will attack, and then this will go away. The drive check, first, second, front's good. And third. 2 cards left on deck. Stunt. Soul +5. Attack again. Attack +1, of course. Crit. And then these 2 will attack. So, as you see, the deck is very devastating. It's so strong, but you need to keep in mind that the deck will deck out if you take it too long. Like at the end of the turn, you will deck out, or if your opponent just say end turn, you will deck out. That's something that you have to keep in mind. Drawing too much cards in the early game could hurt the deck, but they do help with the deck in general. You could also just say like I play one cycler and one of her. You could also do that. The thing is losing that one soul does sometimes help, but having the card back in your deck is quite good. So it really depends on the way that you build your deck. How do you play it? Going second is very different. You need to keep very different cards on hand, and that does make a big difference on the plays that you make. So we will do a different video where I will show you how going second will be like in this deck, and hopefully that you guys enjoy these scaling videos and also you learn something from them. As I said at the start of the video, it will be very difficult for you to understand how strong this deck is until you face it yourself, because the deck is very strong. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for tuning in on our channel. Hope that you guys enjoyed these videos and hope that you guys learn a lot from them. Hope that you guys are happy with another beautiful top 8 for Bruce, and I hope that Fuzzy do actually upload our name in the website, because there are deck lists but there is no CTM name, or it's not linked to the players yet. So that would be amazing, and we'll see you in the next video. So till next time.